All right, Stefan, let's get into some of our ads. If you guys are watching, still give your questions in. We'll pop them up. We'll get to them. We're going to talk about 5 guys that we are looking to add going into week 6 of the fantasy football season. There they are there. Rondell Moore, which is crazy to me that he's still only 40% owned in leagues. Cadarius Tony, he's owned in 18%. Khalil Herbert had a good second half with Monty out. He only owned 19% in leagues. Daryl Williams, 17%. Devante Booker, 7%. Let's break some of these guys down, Steph. What can you tell me about Mr. Rondell Moore?
Well, to be honest with you, believe it or not, Hopkins has not been the Hopkins that he was last year. Hopkins is taking a kind of a dial back. It's not really to say that he's bad. It's more of the volume is AJ Green's there. We've got Rondell Moore. We got James Conner. We've got Chase Edmonds. All these guys can catch the ball. But it just seems like Rondell Moore, ever since he changed his number from the ugly 85 to a number 4, his abilities boosted. I know he had a dud week the week before, but I think going forward, he will be the safety valve for Kyler Murray because you can't always throw a deep ball to Hopkins and catch it. And, AJ Green's good, but it looks like AJ Green's going to be the guy who's an every other week kind of a player. Rondell Moore, if anything, will go forward being the guy that can consistently get you a good amount of points. I wouldn't start him as a receiver too. I would go a flex, but I would also spend 25% of my fab, depending on what you have, because he's a good stash or a good flex play for a bye week. But I think going forward in the season, he's going to be a guy that you're going to be happy you spend that money on and not look back on. So if I see Rondell Moore, and most of my leagues, I'm spending at least up to $20 on him,
Good
$15.
amount.
Yeah, because in that offense, everyone's going to eat. Of course, Hopkins is going to eat maybe just a little bit more, but Hopkins, Christian Kirk, AJ Green, Rondell Moore. Who knows? But I think Rondell Moore is going to develop that relationship. So if you see him there, put your money on him. If you have the waiver claim, put your waiver in for him if you need a receiver or a flex.
Yeah, it's just one of those offenses that you want a piece of, like the Chargers, the Cardinals. You want a part of it. He's pretty much averaging sub 50% snap share. So he's doing a lot with the little that he's being given. And his schedule from week 11 to the championships is so favorable for the wide receiver. Go out and get him. You can be a little more aggressive with the fab. We're just kind of giving you a guideline here of what we think people are going to be spending on him. You might want to go to the 30%. Don't be shy. We're getting into the critical time of fantasy football with bye weeks. So you're going to want these guys that can produce these boom games to cover your buys and help you make the playoffs. So you can use these guys with these favorable schedules.
And you have to spend that money. That fab doesn't go with you in the offseason either. So you want to spend them.
Man.
Don't miss out on guys. Don't miss out.
That's it. Next, I'm gonna talk about Cadarius Tony. It's one of those situations. Kenny Galladay, hyperextended knee. He's gonna miss some time. Sterling Shepard missed the past 2 games. Darius Slayton missed the past 2 games. He had his best week of the year. I wasn't high on Cadarius Tony coming in to the season, but I gotta give kudos where kudos is due. The guy's balling out. I'm hyped to start this guy in the leagues where I was able to grab him. Just hope that he can control his emotions and stay on the field, because when he's on the field, he's electric, man. He makes guys miss. He's quick with his cuts. He gets the ball. He's a yak machine. What do you got? 189.
Yep, 189
on Sunday. So big things for Cadarius Tony. Hopefully he's done enough so that when guys like Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton come back, he's kind of earned a role as a primary option in that offense. Again, I'm maybe not starting him this week against the Rams, and the fact that Danny Dimes might be out and Mike Glennon's throwing the ball, but 18% owned Yahoo. We're okay spending a minimum of around 10 to 15% of our fab budget on him. Are you a big Cadarius Tony guy, Stefan?
I am now. I did see. I went back. I looked on Monday. I looked at his highlight tape. This guy he is a baller. You know, he's got the attitude. He's got the New York accent. You know, the New York swag. It's
Yeah.
just
The blue and red tape.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a big Darius Slayton fan. I'm not a hater of him. It just seems like if they put Cadarius Tony in and they have Shepard and a Galladay one day or another, I think they'll do good. I think they'll do better than they had with the Shepards, Slayton, and Galladay trio. It just looks like this guy is meant to be what he looks like. He looks like a baller. He looked good. I know it was just a small sample size. And like I said, I don't think I would start him this week. The Rams are a stout pass defense. Mike Glennon is going to be throwing to Jalen Ramsey and those boys. Aaron Donald pressuring him. Just sit him this week. And if he does do good, you know what? It's even better to start him the week after that. That way you feel better. And if like, you know what, he balled out 2 weeks in a row against, honestly, the Cowboys defense was good. They had a good defense. They're not pushovers. The Rams are a much better defense, and I say much better with emphasis. So bench him, be okay with it. Don't double guess it. If you want to tinker and give it a shot, go ahead. I just would be okay with benching him like you said for this week.
Yeah, definitely go out and make him a target of yours. Now, we did see Clyde Edwards-Hilaire go down. They put him on the IR as a precaution to not have him try to rush back and make it on the field. So he is going to miss a minimum of 3 weeks. So we're going to add out of the backfield Daryl Williams as the main running back out of KC moving forward. Daryl Williams, Jerick McKinnon, and I think that's it, right?
That's it for now, yeah.
Given the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs haven't had a prolific run game this year, even though Hilaire did have 200-yard games, are we okay picking up Daryl Williams, or are we letting our opponents pick up Daryl Williams, hoping that he doesn't produce?
If you're a Clyde Edwards-Hilaire owner, go after him. I'm spending at least, I know he says 15%. If you have a fab of like say 100, I have a lot of leagues where $100 fab, I'm spending $30 to $40 on this guy. It's a pass happy offense. He'll get the carries. I think he'll also get the touches when it comes to the receiving game. Like I said earlier in the show, they don't get rid of this guy for a reason. They kept him around for many years. They kept him around for when Clyde's rookie year when got Le'Veon Bell. They kept him as a third guy even before Clyde came into the picture, and they didn't really have a number one guy. He was still there. He was still around with the I'm trying to think of his name. Who was the guy that they had a few years ago, and they still had Daryl Williams. I can't. Not it's after Jamal.
The small guy.
Yeah, it was like
Darwin Thompson.
There was another
Damian Williams.
Damian Williams too. Even when he was around, he was the guy. He's the guy that. This is why you take Clyde, and this is why you don't. He's not a handcuff you want to take early in the season, but now you're wishing you did, because if you don't take Daryl Williams, he's going to be the guy that's going to be a good RB2, maybe flex. I think more of an RB2, but go after him, because if in this world of running backs there are none left, and we're talking about these guys, you need a running back off this waiver wire this week, especially.
Yeah, man, he's due for some work, right? So definitely pick him up. Definitely go pick him up. All right, let's get to our next guy, Stefan. Probably a guy I'm gonna spend a crap ton of fab on this week, and it's Devante Booker. The Saquon injury was unfortunate, but we seen him come in the relief role, and he absolutely balled out, man. 2 TDs. 16 touches, 88% of the snap share. There's no one really behind him siphoning touches from the guy. So he's a guy that might come into your lineups and win you a few weeks while Saquon's out, man. We don't really know the extent of that Saquon injury either. So he could be out a extended period of time. He could miss a week or two, but Devante Booker is definitely a guy that's going to get the job done. Just based on volume alone, really, that's why you're going to pick him up. He's 7% owned in Yahoo. We think a minimum of 25% of your fab budget should be spent on this guy. Go out there, reach for him, and plug him in, man. He's going to be plug and play. How many guys off the waiver are going to be plug and play week in and week out? And Devante Booker can be that guy.
I 100% agree with you. I did just look up. They did say Saquon's to miss at least 2 to 3 weeks, and and I don't even know. Like I said, last time Saquon had his injury, he was out for a long time. They rushed him back in. He kind of got re-injured back 2 years ago, and of course last year with the knee. I'm giving Booker a lot of my fab like I would Daryl Williams. This is Devante Booker, what we wanted to see in Denver, but it never came to fruition. So I say Devante Booker, you put 25%, don't look back, plug him as your RB2, let him ride for 3 weeks. Even if Saquon returns back, I don't think they give him the full workload because it's sad to say, it's really sad because he's a great player. It just doesn't look like Barkley is going to be a healthy guy. I made the mistake 2 weeks ago of picking up Devante Booker in case Barkley didn't, produce. Barkley did good. I dropped him. Now I'm like, wow, I'm looking dumb because now he's on the waiver wire, and I had him for free 2 weeks ago.
So you're gonna have to give your right arm to get him.
Luckily, I gave my right arm to Cordero Patterson 2 weeks ago, so I don't know if I can't afford Devante Booker. I can't afford Williams.
Patterson was a good ad, though. You didn't go wrong there, man.
I'm glad with that.
Worth the right arm, yeah.
Right.
But so pick up Booker. Out of all the guys on the list, maybe other than Rondell Moore, Devante Booker is a guy that he's going to be on the top of my priority list. And then last but not least, we have here Khalil Herbert of the Chicago Bears, running back. He got a lot more chances in the second half of the game versus the Raiders, and he's sharing the backfield with Damian Williams. Williams did score the only rushing touchdown that game. Herbert's value pretty much comes from how long David Montgomery is going to be out. The Bears do have some tough matchups coming up. They got Tampa Bay, San Francisco, and Pittsburgh. So we're not telling people to go out and spend like we're saying to spend on Devante Booker. We're about spending maybe 5 to 7% of our fab. He's just going to be a depth guy, a guy that just in case something happens to Damian Williams, because he was nursing an injury prior to the game on Sunday, Khalil Herbert can be pushed into a more dominant role in that offense. But again, it's all based on when Monty comes back and in the play of Damian Williams. So pick up Khalil Herbert. We liked what he did, but he's not a guy like Booker that you're going to plug and play.
Exactly. And the guy actually that I was talking about were the two of them was Sharkandrick West and Spencer Ware. Those are the two guys. They were on the tip of my tongue, but those are the guys that I saw in the KC backfield. And
Spencer Ware, he won me some leagues that one
year, man.
Yes,
he did.
Won me so those were our waiver ads for week 6. We broke 5 of them down. Rondell Moore, Cadarius Tony, Devante Booker, Khalil Herbert, and Daryl Williams from KC.